I'm Ann Croker, writing coach. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. I'm sharing my best tips and training, skills and strategies to coach authors to improve their craft, pursue publishing, and achieve their writing goals. This is episode 243. What's a writing coach? And what kind do I need? If you've ever wondered what a writing coach is, well, I get asked this a lot. I mean, it is baked into my branding. This is Ann Croker, writing coach that you're listening to. Let's start with this, the simplest, broadest explanation of what a writing coach is and does. A writing coach provides you with input and support designed to close the gap between where you are as a writer and where you want to be. You may know that I co-authored the book on being a writer with Charity Singleton Craig that was released in 2014. Well, our editor, also our publisher, used really similar language on the back cover copy of the book and in marketing materials. She invited readers to, quote, let this book act as your personal coach to explore the writing life you already have and the writing life you wish for and close the gap between the two, end quote. That phrasing captures the foundational purpose and core intent of this coaching role in a writer's life. So I adapted it here to define what a writing coach is and does. And as a writing coach myself for well over a decade, I can confirm that this is a high-level description of writing coaching. So again, a writing coach provides you with input and support designed to close the gap between where you are as a writer and where you want to be. And every coach does this differently based on their experience, background, training, philosophy. Each coach brings their own strengths to their work, and not every coach will be right for you. In fact, you may need one kind of coach at one stage in your writing journey and another kind of coach later. And you want to find the right fit for your current goals and challenges. So to begin to understand what a writing coach is and does so you can make that decision about what kind of coach is the right fit, let's look briefly at what a writing coach isn't. Writing coaches are not editors. A coach may have been and may still be an editor, and they may actually offer both services and may, in essence, be both a coach and an editor, and they may actually offer editorial input into their coaching style, but these are two different services. So writing coaches are not editors. Writing coaches are not agents. A coach may have been and may still be an agent, but these two services must be distinct and separate since authors never pay for representation. So if you find an agent that offers coaching, just be sure that the thing that you're paying for is coaching. Writing coaches are not ghostwriters. A coach may have been a ghostwriter and may still offer ghostwriting as a separate service, but a coach's role is not to collaborate or do any of the writing for you. Writing coaches are not social media managers or designers. A coach may have personal experience and success in social media, and they can advise and direct their clients accordingly. And they might even offer referrals and recommendations to social media specialists or designers or managers. And they may offer suggestions on how to approach social media, but they won't do the work, and that's not the role of a writing coach. Writing coaches are not marketing and promotion specialists, publicists, or launch team organizers. A coach may offer those services in addition to coaching. They may have experienced that as an author themselves. They may have connections and recommendations if their clients need someone on their team with those skills. But when the coach is coaching a client, they are not marketing and publicizing their work or organizing a launch. Writing coaches are not mentors. A coach's advice might feel like the advice you've gotten from a mentor, and a coach might even have a mentor, and you might have both a mentor and a coach. In general, though, you'll find that coaches tend to ask more questions and mentors offer more advice. But there are enough similarities where you may feel like your experience with a mentor is really similar to your experience with a coach. But a writing coach is not a mentor. Writing coaches are not teachers. A coach may have been or still be an English teacher, a professor, and they may teach through courses, conferences, or even maybe informally teach through a one-on-one session, but when they coach, they are not teaching or grading or presenting. They are coaching. A writing coach is not replacing or competing with any of those roles. In fact, you may need or want an editor, agent, or teacher at another stage of your writing life, and sometimes you'll need both at the same time, a coach and any number of these roles. And I plan to explore the differences between these roles in more detail in future episodes. But for now, let's move on to look at various categories of coaches in more detail so you can grasp the variety and land on the type of coach to best support your writing needs and challenges. As you research writing coaches, you're going to see people calling themselves coaches, but then when you inquire about working with them, it'll turn out they don't offer what you need. And that's probably because their core strength may not be what you're looking for. You're trying to align your needs and challenges and goals with their experience, training, philosophy, personality, and expertise. Not all coaches are the same. First, not all writing coaches are book coaches. In your search for a writing coach, you'll discover some who focus on novelists, nonfiction authors, and memoirists. They may call themselves writing coaches or book coaches or both, but their focus is on coaching authors, people working on book-length projects. You'll also find people who coach bloggers, copywriters, essayists, and poets. And you may see coaches who offer guidance to freelance writers, grant writers, PhD candidates who are working on dissertations, professionals in the workplace who are seeking to improve their communication skills. Those coaches won't call themselves book coaches, but they are writing coaches. So I see the term writing coach as the broadest label, an umbrella term, if you will. And under that are specialties. A book coach is a type of writing coach, but you may come across a writing coach who is not a book coach. And another way coaches differ is through training, education, experience, and that's going to influence their specialties, style, and services even more. Working with a writing coach who has training or background as a life coach may feel much different from someone who coaches out of experience as an editor or an academic or as a marketer or as an author in their own right. For example, someone with life coach training may offer few resources or recommendations and rely instead on their skill in asking curious questions to free the writer to discover solutions to their own challenges. But a coach with an editorial background may provide input on writing samples to point out areas of strength and weakness for a writer to improve craft. They may even assign homework to complete before each session. Coaches who have been successful freelance writers might provide a plan for clients to launch their own business or supply some resources and reading materials. And book coaches may rely on a framework or process they've developed that adds structure and deadlines, input, and milestones for their clients, all so that the client completes a draft of their manuscript. Coaches with experience building platform may work with the client to develop a plan of action or a set of strategies to try. Now you add in their personality and their interpersonal communication style, and the types of coaches you could work with starts to seem endless, especially as this role is exploding right now, with coaches popping up everywhere with different kinds of certification as well. Here are just some of the types of coaches you'll find. You'll find coaches for academics. They may serve PhD candidates completing their dissertations or undergrads leveling up their essays and response papers. Freelance writing coaches. You'll find coaches who equip writers ready to launch their own freelance writing career, and they prepare them to present their services, whether that's freelance for businesses or pitching and submitting to publishers. Coaches focused on mindset. Almost all coaches have experience working with writers who deal with writer's block, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, fear, and other mindset hurdles. But some coaches, and often these are people with life coach background and training, they might not supply strategies, provide publishing advice, or send resources, but they are skilled at asking questions that unlock and unwind your creative blocks. Literary writing coaches. People coaching literary writers may serve poets, essayists, or writers of short stories. Some may have their MFA and prep people ready to submit to literary magazines and journals. They might specialize, serving poets only, for example. Or they might have experience in all kinds of literary writing and be able to help you no matter what you are pursuing. These coaches help you understand the process and organize yourself to begin submissions. Coaches for professionals. Some coaches serve people in the workplace who are leveling up their writing skills for professional development. This kind of coach helps clients become more confident with written communications. Coaches focused on grant writing. This is really specific, but there are people with experience in writing successful grants who then offer that as a coaching service and coach people to craft their own. Coaches for bloggers and digital writers. Some coaches focus on people getting started in the online space. They may be transitioning from print to online and need a lot of input to feel comfortable and confident beginning to write in a way that is following the principles and best practices for digital writing. A coach who specializes in this may be just what a writer needs to launch a website, begin blogging, or understand how to write in the micro essay form that we see on social media. Coaches specializing in platform. There are coaches who help people establish and expand their online presence and influence so that they can reach readers with their message. Book coaches. I saved this for last because it's the biggest category. So again, we have this broader category of writing coaches that narrows to become book coaches. And those are people who are working with authors, people working on book-length projects. And they may call themselves book coaches, or they may call themselves writing coaches, but that's what they focus on. Now, book coaches start to narrow further based on various things. For example, if a coach has knowledge and experience with traditional publishing and or self-publishing, they could narrow even further down the publishing path you want to take. That could be one way of focusing even further. They may have broad knowledge of both or specialized knowledge in one or the other. In addition to this, they may specialize in nonfiction, and this could be prescriptive, or sometimes they'll say transformative nonfiction, or history or biography. But they also might specialize in novels, and some book coaches bring a deep understanding of specific genres under that category, like literary fiction, women's fiction, or genre fiction like thrillers, fantasy, or romance. There are coaches who specialize in memoir. I'm going to add one more term here that you may encounter called a book doctor. A book doctor is a kind of coach who works with an author to revise an existing manuscript and help that manuscript become ready for publication. So it's kind of like a developmental editor combined with coaching gifts. In the show notes, you're going to find an infographic that breaks down some of these writing coaches, but keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive list. So as you can see, writing coaches can have all kinds of specialties, and you may find one whose background combined with personality feels like the perfect fit for you and your challenges. But I want to add here, don't assume that a writing coach must have achieved the same goals that you're trying to achieve or write in the same genre that you write in order to coach you well. In sports, for example, you'll find plenty of coaches who coach Olympic athletes without having been an Olympic athlete themselves. I've coached best-selling and award-winning authors who have made lists and received honors different from those that I have. So it may be tempting to seek a coach who has already achieved what you want to achieve, but don't limit yourself. If you're working on areas of your writing life that are holding you back, like writer's block, imposter syndrome, all those things we talked about earlier, or time management, accountability, a coach's own writing, editing, and publishing experience, their own education, their own specialty may matter less than if they can actually ask you the right questions and potentially offer resources to help you take the next step and set you up for success. That broadest definition that I started with works for every kind of coach. A writing coach provides you with input and support designed to close the gap between where you are as a writer and where you want to be. Writing coaches love books, they love words, they love to empower writers to reach their potential. They exist to support you as you achieve your goals. Coaches identify a writer's struggles and strategize next steps. They see you for the individual writer you are, with your own unique set of skills and gifts, challenges and questions. They'll hear your heart, your dreams, your goals. Look for a coach who provides you with input and support designed to close the gap between where you are as a writer and where you want to be. That's why we're here. For you. If you're interested in exploring writing coaching with me, you can do so at anncroker.com/everything. At that page, you'll find all the ways you can work with me, both free and paid. That's anncroker.com/everything. And I'm Ann Croker, writing coach. Thank you for listening.